Are you pregnant but not ready to be a mom? Would you like to hear more options about your pregnancy choices? Well, there's an abortion. An abortion is a process where you decide to end the pregnancy. It is given to young girls and women who believe they are not ready to have a baby. However, there's other people who find it morally wrong to have an abortion because they find that you're killing the baby. I used to volunteer in a hospital and I witnessed young girls and women who thought about it and said yes to the process of having an abortion, which makes them pro choice. However, I saw other young girls and women who instantly said no to having an abortion because they find it morally wrong, and which makes them pro life. In this speech, I would like to talk about the different perspectives about an abortion with people who are pro life, pro choice, or pro both, but depending on circumstances. Now that I made you aware about my topic about abortion, I will now give examples of people who are pro choice. Pregnant women are allowed to hear their pregnancy options, and if they decide to end their pregnancy with an abortion, it makes them pro choice. Many women who say yes to an abortion is because they don't feel like they're ending a baby, but an embryo, where they're receiving nutrients and removing the waste for the mother who is pregnant. In an article called Why I Testify in the Argentina Abortion Debate by Alberto Cupido states, "We are placenta mammals. Embryos can only develop to maturity within a woman's womb. So far, no one has created a placenta mammal entirely outside of a uterus. Furthermore, developing an embryo depends on placenta exchange. Oxygen and food move from the expectant mother's bloodstream into the placenta and then to the embryo. Basically, this means it is not a baby until it's outside of the uterus, and it's an organ inside the womb where it is helping the mother who is pregnant receive the nutrients and removing the waste. Also, women who are HIV positive are most likely not to be pro life because they will be pro choice because they don't want to be transmitting their baby with the virus. In an article called HIV, Unwanted Pregnancy and Abortion, where the Human Right Approach by Maria Brown states, it is noteworthy that only 48% of pregnant women living with HIV around the world had access to effective regimens to prevent vertical transmission of HIV. Now, this means that only a certain amount of women who are receiving the medication care for their HIV, and for the women who do not have that medication, they're most likely to transmit their virus to their baby, leaving their baby with medical issues. Now that I made you aware about people who are pro-choice, I will now begin people who are pro-life. An abortion is an option. However, if you believe to not end the pregnancy with abortion is a respectable thing to do, that makes you pro-life. People say no to an abortion because they have a strong feeling or opinion about protecting human rights. In an article called Sin Danis Votes Yes on Two Major Pro-Life Bills states that Danis, U.S. Senator, wanted to protect innocent babies and human rights. According to the article, it's astonishing that Senate Democrats voted against those companionship bills which end late-term abortion and protecting babies born alive from botched abortions. This shouldn't be about politics. It's about protecting life. As founder of the first ever Center pro-life Caucasians, I will continue fighting for pro-life policies. Now, this means that Donnie is one of the few people who voted no for having an abortion because he believes that he's protecting the lives of the young children, and he will be thinking that they will be helping us in our future with us with jobs and our families, because one day we'll be stepping down and we'll be retired and they'll be stepping up to take our place. Also, having an abortion is expensive and it costs money, but not just anybody's money, taxpayers' money. People who are taxpayers are most likely to vote about the H.R. 7 to not pay for abortion. In an article called Congressman Biggs Votes Yes on H.R. 7 states that Andy Biggs, Congressman, votes yes to the H.R. 7 because he states H.R. 7 gives the American assurance that the federal tax dollars are not being used to self-elected abortions. Now that we have a pro-life president and a majority of the House and Senate, I hope that we will begin to protect every life and cut off taxpayers' funding for abortion providers. The bill starts the process, and I am pleased to have cast my vote in favor for pro-life legislation. Now, this means that he is not a pro-life or he's not a pro-choice person. He believes having abortion is wrong, and he is a taxpayer. And other former taxpayers who are not a go with the abortion will vote for the HR 7, allowing them to stop paying for the abortion. Now that I made you aware of people who are pro-life, I will now begin giving examples who are people who are pro-both, but depending on the circumstances. Some people are okay with having an abortion. However, it will be depending on the circumstances. Women sometimes experience a difficult pregnancy, and it's hard for them and their health. In an article called Ethics Abortion, Abortion and Self-Defense states, if continued with a pregnancy, it will cause a mother's death. Even those most strongly against abortion accept this in a case where abortion is ethically acceptable. People who are pro-life believe that abortion is wrong have to sometimes take their abortion because it affects their health. If they continue with the pregnancy, they will die, and they don't want that, so they will take the abortion. Now that I made you aware about the perspectives about abortion, I will now summarize my speech. People who decide to have an abortion believe it is not ending a baby, but an embryo, where the mother is receiving the nutrients and removing the waste. And they also, people who are women who are HIV positive, don't want to transmit their baby with it. And people who are pro-life don't want to be paying so much money for the taxes. And also they believe that they're protecting the human rights. And people who are pro-both are depending on the circumstances, like the woman's health, who are suffering and almost die. This is an opinion topic, and I would like to hear so many informations about yours, and I will have questions down there. This is an exploring explanations, and I would like to hear yours. Thank you.